Aha!
Hey guys, I want to talk about how I keep track of enemies in my game. And you can see I have a squad of hobgoblins here. And I have the bases marked, so you can see this one here has a 1 on it, okay? Now, what's cool about this when I do this is when I turn this around, I put the 1 on all 4 sides of the base. So that way, wherever the figure is on the table, whichever direction, you can tell what number it is. Now I've got 1 to 7 on here on the table. And if you look closely, you can see that I do them in Roman numerals, okay? So that's just a lot easier to paint on the base than trying to paint an 8 or a 6, a teeny 8 or a 6 on that little teeny edge. Just do the Roman numerals. It's so much easier to do. Now you'll notice that I didn't do a standard 4, which would be the I and the I and the V on a figure. This one has, I put 4 marks, and I did that because I found that the 6 and the 4 often got confused. So I decided that I would just do 4 marks to make sure that that was easy to distinguish between the 4 and the 6. Okay. So now there we go. You know, it's a great way to keep track of your guys. So now if you have a leader in this group, so say I grab my leader, and you can see the leader doesn't have a mark. And the reason I don't do that is because he's different. Like these guys all look very similar, and this guy is obviously different. So I don't really worry about marking the leaders. I mean, I know who the leader enemies are, so I don't need to worry about marking those. Now, if you had multiple leaders that look the same, you may want to mark them. So if I had different groups in this on the table, I would mark one group, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the second group 1, 2, 3, 4. I wouldn't continue to increase the number on the groups, just as long as you can look at the group and know what number it is within the group, okay? Now, it's really easy to do this. I just use acrylic craft paint, white acrylic craft paint, and then a small brush, and that's all there is to it. And the great thing about this method is if you decide you don't want the numbers on there for some reason or you want to change them, you can just paint it with black acrylic paint and then renumber them or just take the numbers off, and no one will ever know that you had a number on the figure. So that's great, and you can do this with most figures. Most figures have black bases. You can paint the edges of the bases black and then do this technique. And I found it just really easy to keep track of enemies in game, and it's definitely worth the time to do. So yeah, there we go. That's how I keep track of enemies in my game with my Roman numeral numbering system on the bases. And I'll see you next time on the craft.